Welcome to the Sharon Partners quarterly market update for the September quarter 2021. I'm Kim Hope, a financial advisor with Sharon Partners, and I'm joined as always by Dr. Steve Garth, who sits on our investment committee. Thanks for joining us, Steve. I know you're in Sydney, so you've been in lockdown for 3 months or so. That must feel like Groundhog Day.
Yeah, hi Kim. It does feel like Groundhog Day, where one day just drifts into another. And it's sort of a nice introduction because, financial markets over the September quarter, they've been a little bit like Groundhog Day too. Both equities and bonds have just climbed higher over the quarter until the last 2 weeks. Everything has just happened in the last 2 weeks. If you look at the chart I've got here, I'm showing you both the rise of the ASX 200, up she goes, and then just towards the end, it just comes off a little bit. And you can see the volatility. That's the purple wiggly line down the bottom. That's about as low as it goes for volatility. In other words, the markets have been very benign, but suddenly you just see that little spike in volatility.
So, Steve, what's causing the volatility?
Yeah, Kim, particularly in the Australian market, it's actually got a lot to do with what's going on in China. So the Chinese government has sort of clamped down on property development there. They've got a really escalating property market. And because of that, it's really cut back on iron ore. And so the iron ore price has really fallen away. And you can see that in the chart I've got up now. Now, that, of course, affects some of Australia's biggest companies. BHP, Rio and Fortescue are all down for the quarter based on that drop in iron ore prices. And of course, related to this, I'm sure everyone's been hearing about this big Chinese property developer called Evergrande, and they're teetering on default. And again, it's really because the Chinese government has cut down on the property market, and China Evergrande Group are one of the largest buyers of Australia's iron ore. So the two things are related.
Thanks, Steve. So can you take us through what's been going on in markets around the world?
Yeah, Kim, let me put up this chart. And, it's worth saying, we sort of started off this presentation by saying that, there's a lot going on in the last 2 weeks and markets are down. But when you look at this chart in perspective, for Australia and international markets and Australian property and global property, man, they're all up by 30% over the last 12 months. So it's actually been an outstanding 12 months return. But in the quarter, for the reasons we've talked about, you see much more modest returns. In Australia, about 1.7%. In international markets, they're up by 4% for the quarter. That's in Aussie dollars. And you'll see the emerging markets, they're the worst performing asset class there. They're down by 4.5%. Now, that's all due to China. So China is down 15% in the quarter. It's down negative 8% over the 12-month period. And China makes up a very big part of the emerging markets. In fact, the very fact that the emerging markets are only down by 4.5% actually says that other countries in the emerging markets have actually done quite well. It's really China's the cause of the emerging markets being negative there.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. That, I guess, is actually a really good point to drive home that concept of how important it is to be diversified, and showing that diversification is important across different countries as well as different asset classes. And of course, that's one of our core philosophies at Sharon Partners, is always to make sure that our clients are invested in diversified portfolios, which is just a method of reducing risk.
That's right, Kim.
Thanks for your insight, Steve. And thank you all for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next time.
Great. Thanks, Kim.